Okay, I'll let everybody in.
Okay, love.
Okay, Bobbie, you can start whenever you like.
Okay, love, thank you. So here we are. Good day, everyone, and welcome to an adapted seated yoga practice. My name is Bobbie, and my pronouns are she, her, and I am an older woman with graying, long brown hair. I was advised not to cut it until the spring, so it's going to get longer and longer. But yeah, that aside, I'm delighted, of course, to be here as always with you and to have the opportunity to share what I often refer to as India's gift to the world. And so, an invitation is always to begin a yoga practice by finding a comfortable sitting position. So you think of this as, if you'd like, as a centering practice. Then roll your shoulders back and down. Relax your arms in your lap or by your side, wherever feels most comfortable for you. And then when you're ready, I'd like to invite you to bring your hands into your heart space. So maybe palms together, palms open. If this placement of your hands makes you lose your balance, I'd like to suggest that you choose another placement for your hands. A gentle reminder that we never forfeit balance to come into a pose or movement. And then as ready, lift your heart to your hands. If your hands are at your heart center, bow your head to your heart. And an invitation just to take a few moments to allow yourself to consciously enter into the present. Setting aside whatever was going on for you before the yoga class for the duration, knowing that you can come back to that after class. And then as ready, if your eyes are closed, gradually blink your eyes open. So we are falling awake, not asleep. Falling awake, not asleep. So I think I'd like to suggest at this time, if you know what you need to keep yourself comfortable, in other words, stable in your chair, you might want to grab that now, or make sure moving forward, if your intention is to come to the class, to have what you need at the front end. So if you know balance is a challenge for you, have whatever device you need to keep yourself stable in your chair. A few of the things that I like to have, for example, so this is an old yoga mat I've kind of kicking around forever. So a rolled up yoga mat can be really useful for some folks, placed right along your spine at the beginning of the class. So that can help with encourage, can help us sit up nice and tall. Alternatively, you might want to use it at the end of the class so that you can maybe rest back on it into your final relaxation or meditation. The other thing I like to have is my old Mexican hippie blanket, $5. This can feel really amazing. A little bit of weight on your lap can encourage grounding sensation. Apparently, it can help with fatigue. Not everyone's cup of tea, your choice. And then lastly, almost always you might notice that I have a block between my feet. So this is, I refer to this as one of my yoga toys, my yoga toy box. And so it is a foam block that's covered with some material. And I like to place them between my feet because it actually encourages me to place my feet comfortably hip distance apart. So hip, knee, ankle in line. You don't need a yoga prop. You can actually maybe choose something that you have kicking around the house that serves the same purpose. And so that said, an invitation now to repose. If you have the ability to move away from the back of the chair enough so that you're supporting your own spine. And then I'd like you to feel that you're sitting forward on your sits bones. So the bones we sit on. So ground down through your sits bones, lengthen up through your spine. Roll your shoulders back and down. Tuck your chin in slightly to release the back of your neck. And then as you're ready, I'd like to invite you to reach your arm up. So I'm not going to cue left, right here. So we have a tendency to go to the least side, the side that's the least height first. And then slowly float your arm down. So same side, 3 more times, gentle movement, reaching up towards the sky. So if it feels okay for your neck, maybe turn a soft gaze up. And perhaps your eyes meet where the seam and the ceiling meet the wall. And then slowly float your arm down. So gentle movement, 2 more times, reaching up towards the sky, as high as feels comfortable for you. And slowly float your arm down. This time, let's explore adding a gentle breath to the movement if you'd like. On inhale, reach up. Full length of your inhale. On exhale, float your arm down the full length of your exhale. Release both arms down by your side, wherever feels most comfortable. And then let's explore this gentle movement on the other side. So as ready, reach your opposite arm up to the sky, as high as feels comfortable for you. And slowly float your arm down. So 3 more times, same side, gentle movement, reaching up towards the sky. If it feels okay for your neck, turn a soft gaze up. And then slowly float your arm down. So let's explore linking our breath with our movement. On inhale, reach up, full length of your inhale. On exhale, float your arm down the full length of your exhale. So as if on our inhale, there's a beginning, a middle, and an end point. On exhale, a beginning, a middle, and an end. Relax both arms down by your side, wherever feels comfortable for you. And then this time, let's reach both arms up to the sky. So if it feels okay for your neck, take a look between your palms and notice if they're facing each other. And as ready, float your arms down. So shoulders up, back and down, little wavy fidget. So you can do a little bum dance if you like. So I'd like to invite you to set an intention for your practice. So that might be an area of your body or a condition you'd like to work on today. Perhaps you'd like to dedicate your practice to someone that needs a little extra TLC, in which case you could, if you're dedicating your practice, you might want to close your eyes softly, visualize that person in front of you. And then saying their name silently, and then wishing them happiness and that they might know the root of all happiness. And it's ready. If your eyes are closed, gently blink your eyes open. And so an invitation now to repose, ground down through your feet. So if you can't feel your feet in the usual manner, I'd like to invite you to visualize your feet. Or perhaps you have a yoga buddy. You can maybe kneel in front of you and place their hands on your ankles. And that can give you a sense of grounding, just with your guidance and your companion, your friends. That's an intention of loving kindness. So ground down through your feet, center and ground through the soles of your feet. So we want to keep our connection with Mother Earth. We tend to start losing that. Or we're down through your sits bones. Notice where your bum and your thighs are in contact with your seat. Lengthen up through your spine, shoulders up, back and down. Tuck your chin in slightly to release the back of your neck. And then when you're ready, I'd like to invite you to bring your hands together, rub your palms together a little. So one of the pieces, little snippets of research that I like to share in the class is that our hands are connected not only to our hearts, but to our mind as well. And so I think most of us understand that, but now there's research that shows it. So I think in the West, we need some evidence based. And then take your palms apart a little, feel a bit of warmth, heat between your hands. And if you'd like to play with this, maybe move your hands a little further apart, closer together. And then as you're ready, turn your palms face up, reach up to the sky. And then I'd like to invite you today to honor Mother Nature. With your palms face down as you release your arms down, sound the sound Ma. Ma. And inhale, reaching up towards the sky. So we inhale, things expand. On exhale, things contract. So tone the sound Ma. And one more time, both arms reaching up to the sky. Ma. So a gentle reminder, if you haven't put yourself on mute, go ahead and put yourself on mute. And then maybe walk your hips forward in the chair a little bit, walk your hips back, sit up tall. And now I'd like to invite you to reach your arm up, whichever side, palm face up, and then reaching up, maybe out to the side a little more, gazing past your middle finger. And on your exhale, again, the sound Ma. So I sometimes like to think of these movements as a moving meditation. Other side, spiral your palm open, inhale, reach up. On exhale, Ma. Both arms reach up, spiral your palms open. Bring your hands to your heart space, bow your head to your heart or to your Buddha belly. Extend your arms up and away. And then making soft fists, bring your hands back to your heart space or your belly. On inhale, extend your arms up and away. And this time, as we bring our hands back to our heart space or Buddha belly, make a humming sound. So bumblebee breath. Inhale. Humming sound, yogic breathing technique, calming for our nervous system. Bumblebee breath. Place one hand on your yoga belly, your Buddha belly, your other on your heart space. And maybe notice the rise and fall of your chest and your belly. And from here, let's transition into a warm up. So beginning with our head, bring your chin gently towards your chest. In your time, as you feel your neck is ready, turn a soft gaze looking up. So again, maybe your eyes meet where the seam and the ceiling meet the wall. And so let's continue this gentle movement for the cervical area of our spine. So it's as if we're nodding yes. And then finish up the movement that you're on. Bring your hand back to center. And then I'd like to invite you to take one ear towards your shoulder. So sitting up tall, allow your shoulders to soften away from your ears. Hands resting on your thighs, palm up or down. And then move your head from side to side. So I'd like you to notice, how does it feel maybe to tuck your chin in slightly, so that can actually help quiet the mind, gives this little nerve flossing for our neck. Finish up the movement that you're on, bring your head back to center, and then turn a soft gaze looking past your pardon me. Only turn your head as far as feels comfortable for you, and then turn your head from side to side. So this time, as if we're nodding no. So if you'd like to add a little half smile, a little Buddha smile. So smiling can help release saliva. So we want a nice juicy mouth, juicy body. And who among us hasn't been to the dentist? Then it's ready, finish up the movement that you're on. Come on back to a neutral spine. So let's roll our shoulders up, back and down. Maybe alternating from side to side. And then forward, down and back. But mostly we're wanting to open up our heart, our chest. So up, back and down. And a little wiggly fidget. And so from here, an invitation with your hands resting where they are, tap your fingers. So playing a little air piano. And then maybe tap from your pinkies to your thumbs. And then thumbs to pinkies. So we all have our own sense of rhythm. And so micro movements, visualizing the movements, focusing on what we can do. And then when you're ready, a little more challenging, moving right to left. And then it's ready, rotate your wrist. And then I'd like to invite you to see if you can slow the movements down. So mindful movements. So essentially, mindful movements, in my interpretation of that, is you're not thinking about what you're going to have for lunch or dinner while you're doing your movements. You're actually focused on your breath, your movements. And so maybe an invitation to take a look at your hands with appreciation for all that they do. And then rotate your wrist in the opposite direction. And then imagine that you're moving your hands through water. And it's ready. Arms as high or low as you'd like. Push your hands away. Sitting up tall. Pull your hands back. Push your hands away. Pull your hands back. So with this movement, not only are we getting into all the major joints in our arms, so we're getting that synovial fluid, Mother Nature's WD-40 flowing into our joints. We're also getting into that often tight area between, or pardon me, on the inside and outside of our shoulder blades. It's like we're giving our back a little massage. Push your hands away, pull your hands back, release your arms by your side, take a moment or two, oof, and feel your work. And maybe notice any subtle sensations. How's your breath? So really tuning in to what's going on in our body. And then from here, let's dive into yoga swim. So we'll start freestyle. Arms as high or low as you'd like. And then backstroke. Whoosh. okay swimmer, I guess. I don't know. But certainly not advanced or professional. My teachers would say the next best thing to yoga is swimming. And then as you're ready, you push your hands away. So we'll breaststroke. And then how about side stroke? So if you're doing your practice at home on your own, I'd suggest you do 3 to 4 at each side. But of course, you focus on whatever you can do, whatever feels right for you on any given day. And then let's finish up with butterfly. And then slowly come on back to stillness. Relax your arms by your side, then on your lap. Take a moment or two. Notice how you feel. And so I always like to say it's not about what we look like in our yoga practice. A diagnostic tool is how do I feel? No judgment. And so moving on, an invitation now to, I feel like I don't know where everyone's tuning in from, but here on the West Coast, Sunshine Coast, it is chilly. It's beautiful and sunny, but we've moved into the chilly fall weather. And so I'm feeling like maybe a little bit of body tapping would be nice. And so I think I wouldn't say body tapping is all the rage, but certainly you can Google body tapping online. Be circumspect, choose whatever works for you. So I like to include a piece with body tapping that is good for our brain health, particularly our memory. And I'll explain more of that as we're going along. So body tapping, sit up tall. You can start on the outside of your thighs and tap. If your skin is sensitive in certain areas, you might hover in those areas for a moment or two instead of tapping directly on your skin. Only come down as far as feels comfortable for you. So if you have acid reflux, maybe higher low blood pressure, you know who you are. And just go as far as you know is comfortable for you. And then when we want to tap, coming up our inner thighs, legs. So keeping this going, tapping, tap, tap, tap. Come out the inside, inner thighs. And then when you're ready, let's switch it up. So this is a piece that's good for brain health. So we're going to start the body tapping. If you want, you bring your feet a little wider than other hip bone distance, hip knees, ankles in line. And we'll begin the tapping from our inner thighs and then moving down. And then come up the outside. Tap, tap, tap. And then when you're ready, sit up tall, extend your leg, or your leg. This would be my arm, not my leg. Sometimes I back backward, so if you know what I mean, just go with it. So extend your arm, can be as high or low as you want, and then tap from the top of your hand up to your shoulder. Turn your palm face up and tap down. And then switch sides, tap up. Again, if you have a yoga buddy, they can be helping you with this. Tap down. Do the tapping for you, perhaps. As ready, let's come to the back of our neck. Tapping. So I'm going to move into a little bit of Indian head massage. So this is something I learned in India, as well as in Vancouver. And then come up onto the crown of your head, tapping lightly. And if you want, you can say, wake up, brain. Wake up, brain. And then I'd like you to imagine that you're shampooing your hair. And so you're not just moving the hair around, you are moving your scalp. So I used to be a hairstylist, and people love coming to me because I gave a great head massage with the shampoo bowl. So who doesn't like a nice head massage? And then if you want to get a little wild and crazy, just, yep. I do this almost every morning now. Right. And then smooth your hair out. Right. And then it's ready. We tap, center your chest, so sternum. So tapping in this area can be calming for our nervous system. It's something I learned many moons ago. It's a way to calm the nervous system. The trick with this is you want to make sure you don't overdo it, however. And then when you're ready, and lean back in your chair, place one hand on your belly, the other hand on top, and then moving clockwise, massage your belly. So your organs, your liver, your stomach. So we want a soft yoga belly. And then when you're ready, maybe leaning forward in your chair a little bit, take your hands to your lower back, give your lower back a little massage. If you can reach up a little higher where your kidneys and adrenal glands live, send them some love. So kidneys and adrenal glands are close to the surface. Or adrenal glands are almond shaped and they sit on the kidneys. So important to keep this area warm. And then as ready, you can place one hand on your sacrum, maybe sit up tall, sweep your hands forward, and so we can inhale, let, exhale, go. Inhale, let, exhale, go. And so now when you're ready, I'd like to invite you to join me for a little bit of face yoga. So we want to release the tension in our jaw, our face. And so we're going to make some faces. They're not going to be pretty. However, if they, well, will be prettier after because we'll have released some tension. So open your mouth wide. I'm going to come in a little closer so you can see my not so pretty face when we do this. And then open your mouth wide again. And this time, however, I want you to see, can you, bring your lips over your teeth. And release. And now when you're ready, pull all your facial muscles towards your nose. You just bit into a lemon. As ready, make a soft fist, bring it up to your jaw, and create resistance. So we hold a lot of tension in our jaw, often bringing that in from one day to the next. If you don't want to create lockjaw, don't stay there too long, switch sides. Right, so you might feel a tenderness. Yeah. And then reach your hand up and over, place it on the side of your head, and again, create resistance. And switch sides. Make a soft fist, bring it up to your third eye. So a lot of chatter about what is the third eye? Does it exist? Where is it? So essentially, it's just the center, the front part of our brain. When we put gentle pressure here, it can be calming for our nervous system. And then as you're ready, interlace your fingers, place them at the base of your skull, and then press your head gently against your hands. And release. And a little wiggly fidget. Okay. So from here, let's repose. Make sure your feet are placed evenly on the floor or on your footrest if you're a wheelchair user, or maybe on blocks. Maybe you're bringing the floor to you today by placing your feet on blocks. Sits bones are sharp on the chair, spine is long, shoulders back and down. Tuck your chin in slightly to release the back of your neck. And then when you're ready, I'd like to invite you to reach one hand towards the earth. So towards the floor, reach as if you're reaching to pick something up. Both sits bones stay on the chair. You can hold the opposite side of the chair for stability. And then move from side to side. So it might be helpful as you exhale to reach towards the floor. Inhale, come back center. Exhale to the other side. Or maybe today it just feels good to inhale to one side, exhale to the other side. If you're feeling congested or you have an obstruction, breathe in whatever way you can. And so imagine if it's helpful that you're seated between two panes of glass. And you might notice that as we warm up, the movements become more easeful. Maybe we're able to go a little bit deeper. As ready, finish up the movement that you're on. Bring your arms back to center. Take a moment. From here, we'll come into a twist. So beginning at the base of the lumbar spine. So breathe in, lengthen your spine. As you breathe out, coming into your twist, so moving up from the lumbar spine, one vertebrae at a time. Coming into the twist, and our shoulders come into it a little more, head turns flat. And then let's explore moving dynamically. So twisting from side to side. This is a gentle twist. We're not going to our full range of movement. And so sliding our hands along our thighs as we practice this movement can increase our proprioceptive awareness. So essentially knowing where our body is in relation to space. And then slowly finish up the movement that you're on. Come on back to a neutral spine. Relax your arms by your side, then on your lap. And allow your breath to come back to its natural rhythm. Notice any subtle sensations. I trust that the sensations are there. It's not going to be a rocket ship across the sky. So proprioceptive awareness can essentially knowing where our body is in relation to space. However, we also have interoception. So it's being able to be still enough to tune in and know what's going on inside our bodies. And so feel free to adapt or modify any way you need or want to. If anything I share with you doesn't feel comfortable, skip it, come back to your breath. So if we're focused on the breath, we're practicing yoga. And so from here, I'd like to transition into a practice I call finding our balance. And so essentially the 4 sensations I'd like for you to experience in your yoga practice is one of grounding. So feet on the earth, grounding, balance, expansion, and rhythm. So before we move into the actual movement, I want you to make sure if you know balance is challenging for you, make sure you have whatever device you need to keep you stable in your chair. If it's possible and you'd like to bring your feet just a little bit wider than outer hip bone distance, go for it. Hips, knees, ankles in line. If your knees are rotating inwards, you might want to adjust, or if they're kind of flopping out. Sitting up nice and tall. On inhale, lengthen your spine. On exhale, hinging at the hips. hold the underside of the chair. So moving your sternum, your chest towards your thighs, first of all. And so hinging at the hips, moving your sternum towards your thighs. Chin in. And then rock back up. So an invitation to explore this gentle movement in your own time and rhythm. So for a few more breaths. So it begins by sitting up tall, moving your chest towards your thighs, chin in, hinging at the hips. So there's something about this rocking movement that our nervous system likes. So it's helpful. You can walk your feet forward a little bit. And then as ready, finish up the movement that you're on. Come on back to a neutral spine. And then I'd like to invite you with your hands at your hips or holding the chair, wherever feels comfortable for you. Circle your heart forward and circle your heart back. So we're keeping sits bones on the chair. Your circles may be smaller or larger than mine. So we're getting into our hips and lower back here a little more. Bring a gentle awareness to the space in front of you. Bring your awareness to the space beside you. And perhaps notice how that makes you feel. Take your awareness to the space above you. And especially an invitation to bring your awareness to the space behind you. And moving away from me to we, to trust that we are being supported. And then slowly, as ready, come on back to stillness. Toe heel back in so your feet are comfortably hip distance apart. Relax your arms by your side, then on your lap. And then just take a moment or two to allow your breath to come back to its natural rhythm. And so you might notice rise and fall of your chest and your belly. And so I'm just going to lean into my iPhone for a minute. Just get a closer look. I'm just wondering. I have several students in the class today. And yes, I need reading glasses. So for those of you who know, I've had some visual vision challenges of late, surgery on both my eyes. I now have 20/20 vision, both my eyes. Woohoo! Modern science, great eye surgeon. However, now I need reading glasses. So I appreciate your patience with me in this regard as I move into my little iPad. A little closer. There we are. So, and maybe we have a new friend or two today and some old friends. So lovely to see you all. Okay. So we left off there. Okay. So let's repose. Make sure your feet are placed evenly on the floor on your footrests if you are seated in the wheelchair. Your sits bones are sharp on the chair. Lengthen up through your spine, right up through to the crown of your head. Roll your shoulders back and down. Relax your arms in your lap or by your side, wherever feels most comfortable for you. Then from here, I'd like to come into another version of a side bend. So sitting up tall, I will give you three choices. for how you might like to come into the pose. And so let's begin by taking hold of the underside of the chair. And then your opposite arm, might choose to have your hand at your hip. Maybe you take your hand up to your shoulder, or maybe today it feels okay to reach up and over as we come into the side bend. So you choose. I like to think of it as a buffet. Choose whatever works best for you. So on this side only today, I'm going to take my hand to my shoulder. And so sitting up tall, holding the opposite side of the chair, extend your opposite arm, spiral your palm open. So on inhale, your hand comes to your hip, maybe your shoulder, maybe reaching up and over. And then on our exhale, we come into the side bend. Sits bones, stay on the chair, and then turn a soft gaze looking down towards the floor to release your neck. And then breathe into your rib cage. Can you imagine breathing in below your rib cage? And as ready, come out of the pose on this side. And take hold of the underside of the chair, extend your opposite arm, spiral your palm open, inhale, reach up, exhale, come into your side bend. Turn a soft gaze looking down towards the floor. Breathe into your side body. And then come out of the pose on this side. So let's come into this one more time on each side. So sitting up nice and tall, take hold of the underside of the chair, extend your opposite arm, spiral your palm open. Inhale, reach up to your place. Exhale, come into your side bend. As you turn a soft gaze looking down towards the floor. So can you feel that you're creating space in your side body? Your rib cage? And palm face down, release. Other side, take hold of the chair, extend your opposite arm, spiral your palm open. Inhale, reach up, exhale, bend. And palm face down, release. Roll your shoulders up, back, and down. Little wiggly, fidget. Notice how you feel. So I always like to say, be creative with your movement. So creativity helps with anxiety. One of the first things I learned in my practice many moons ago. So walk your hips forward a little bit, walk your hips back, sit up tall, or do a little bum dance. Again, you're grounded through your feet. Your sits bones are sharp on the chair. Spine is long, shoulders back and down. Tuck your chin in slightly to release the back of your neck. And so from here, I'd like to invite you to, sitting up tall, to push one foot down into the floor and then push your opposite foot down. And I'd like you to notice, can you feel one foot more than the other? Okay, so that might have something to do with your hips. And then as you're ready, sitting up tall, I'd like to invite you to place your hands below your thigh if this is available to you. And then hug your knee in towards your chest and belly. So knee to chest pose. So it might be that you're visualizing the movement. Maybe you have a yoga buddy that's helping. So maybe notice where you feel that. Breathe into that area. And then place your foot back down. So let's switch sides. Sit up nice and tall. Place your hands behind your thigh, not below your knee. That can be hard on the knees. Inhale and then exhale. Hug your knee in towards your chest and belly. And release. And so let's practice that one more time on each side. And I want you to notice this time, can you feel one hip more than the other? And notice what's going on. Is it a little different this time? So you're sitting up tall, hands interlaced behind your thigh, knee, pardon me, knee to chest. And release. Other side, sit up nice and tall. Hug your knee in towards your chest and belly. And release. Yes. And so I'd like to invite you now to become seated comfortably back in your chair. Right, roll your shoulders up, back and down. Sits bones sharp on the chair, spine long. And then from here, I'd like to invite you to extend your leg. And then point and flex your foot. So again, you might have a yoga buddy that can help with the extension. And release. Other side, sit up tall, extension, point and flex. And release. So when you're ready, reach one hand across your knee, your other hand on top, turn your torso in that direction, and then send your knees some love. So let's do this on the other side. Reach across, one hand on the other, turn your torso in that direction, send your knees some love. Nice. Good stuff. So I think for today, we'll come down off the mountain now and towards guided meditation, your final relaxation. So feel free to adjust your lighting. I had one friend say that, the right way to meditate is whatever feels comfortable for you. So seated, if you have the ability to recline in your chair, whatever works for you. And yeah, removing your glasses is always a good idea if that feels okay for you. And roll your shoulders back and down. Relax your arms in your lap. And then I'd like to invite you to explore the hand gesture that I refer to as a hand gesture of calm abiding. So draw your hands in towards your hips. Look down and into your heart. See what you can see. And then breathe into your heart. So I think I'm just going to put this blanket on the back of my chair for warmth. So breathing in, I know that I'm breathing in. Breathing out, I know that I'm breathing out. As my in-breath grows deep, my out-breath grows slow. Breathing in, I calm my body. Breathing out, I release. Dwelling in the present moment, I know this is a wonderful moment. Breathing in, I calm my body. Breathing out, I smile. Dwelling in the present moment, I know this is a wonderful moment. And so we'll sit in silence for a moment or two with a gentle reminder. Breathing. And then today, as part of the meditation, I'd like to offer another grounding technique. And so, an invitation now to bring your awareness to the soundscape around you. And so, notice the sounds furthest away from you. Maybe noticing the sounds closest to you. Maybe you can hear the sound of your breath, the sound of your heartbeat. And then take your awareness to the sounds in between, furthest away and closest to you. Sound is always in the present moment. And then lastly, as a choice for grounding technique, during your meditation, you might like to take your awareness to a gentle sense of gravity pulling your body down towards the earth. So grounding you all the way down to your feet, and making a connection with Mother Earth. So feel free to choose one of those techniques for the rest of your meditation if you like. So breath awareness, soundscape, or grounding. A gentle sense of gravity, grounding you, pulling your body down towards the earth. So come into whatever comfortable position you'd like for your final relaxation. So this is meant to be a deep, conscious relaxation. We're not meant to fall asleep in it. And so roll your shoulders up, back and down. So this is not a big scrunch up towards our ears. Essentially, we're inviting your shoulders to soften away from our ears. Relax your arms, palms face up or palms face down as desired. Eyes are closed softly if that feels comfortable for you, or soft gaze downwards. And so soft palms, soft yoga belly, the area between our navel and our pubic bone. Quiet breath. Allow the breath to breathe itself. Relax your jaw. Unclench your teeth. Feel free to touch the areas I'm cueing if that feels good for you. Let there be a little space between your teeth. Soften your lower jaw. Soften around your temples. Soften the area between your eyebrows. Wide forehead. Silently, if you'd like, on inhale, say let. On exhale, go. Inhale, let. Exhale, go. And so if it's challenging to quiet the mind, bringing our hands to our yoga belly and bringing our awareness to our breath can be helpful. So without changing anything, bring your awareness back to your breath. Pardon me. Thank your body. Thank your body again. I always like to say our bodies are the best home our mind will ever have. And now see if you can begin to deepen your inhale, lengthen your exhale. Maybe take a look at the space around you. Name 3 objects that you see to bring you back. So make those neural connections. And so thank you, everyone. Notice how you feel before and after yoga. Questions or feedback, always love to hear from you. So in the meantime, the teacher, me, honors and appreciates the teacher in each of you. Thank you, Kassar, my tech host, and Connectra for providing this opportunity for us to get together and do yoga. Also, a gentle reminder that I have been teaching online with Connectra for a few years now, and all the classes are recorded to YouTube and Facebook. And so that's a whole library that's available to you. And at any time, if you're wanting to tune in. And the other thing is, Connector has amazing classes in addition to yoga. There's fitness, there's dance, there's art, you name it, just amazing offerings. So encourage you to check out Connectra and the Disability Foundation. So Connector is one of the affiliates of the Disability Foundation. So thank you. The teacher me honors and appreciates the teacher in each of you. I'm going to stop talking now, and I'm going to come into the phone a little closer.
Thank you, Bobbie.
Thanks, Raj.
See you next time. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah, lovely to see you, Raj.
Thank you. Good class. Bye.
Awesome. Thanks, Lan. Take good care. See you again soon.
You too. Bye.
Bye
Okay.
now.
I'll see you guys next week.
Okay. Bye, Kassar. Thank